Bop bop bop. Bop bop bop. Bop 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 bop. Bop bop bop. Bop bop bop. Bop 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 bop. Doodle Bible School. A little better than last time. Last time we had a screechy version that was really annoying, and I'm never going to do that again. Doodle Bible School, that's where we combine doodling and Bible into a school. And we do it together, and we giggle a lot. I love it. Do you? Thank you for being here. Are you ready? Here we go. All right, we're navigating numbers, still navigating numbers, but folks, we're almost done with navigating numbers. We really are. We're closing in on the final chapters here. Moses says, I'm on my way, or we are on our way to the promised land. And they are going right up to the doorstep. Moses isn't going to get to go in because he messed up. But that's another story for another day. Navigating numbers. You might recall that in our first segment, those of you who've been with me for all these long times, and we've been doing this for years, and I'm thankful that you're here for me. But we're going to do the doodle now. It's called Doodle Bible School. You ought to do some doodling in there somewhere, right? All right, but before we doodle, let's go ahead and do a review of the doodles. There they go, folks, right up there. They're all intended to give you kind of a memory clue. You think of the number of the chapter, then you think of this picture in your mind, and it's supposed to help you to remember what the topic of the chapter is. You might recall last time we used the 3 as an M for Midian, or the Midianites. We're going to whoop up on the Midianites. Well, we're going to, and it looked like a McDonald's sign, personally, but we're going to do the same thing today. Anyhow, what you got here, folks, is we got 2 tribes from the children of Israel. They've come up to the door of the promised land. This is the Sea of Galilee, Jordan River, Dead Sea. They've come right up here, okay? Jericho's right over here on the other side. They've come right up to the door of the promised land. Over here where this helmet is, that's the promised land. And they come right up to the door of the promised. They're about to conquer it, and these 2 tribes come and they say, hey, we just soon stay here. And Moses says, what? And they have to deal with that. But before I go too awful far, let's see if I can draw this upside down. Kind of give that a point, because that's kind of what the old-timey helmets were supposed to look like. My point's a little off-center, but it's okay. All right, now give yourself a 3, guys. Make that extra dark, because that's the number that we're trying to remember, right? 32. All right, very good. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this or not. And then you need to give them some eyeballs, right? Because there you go. So there's a warrior dude, okay? Now, put Sea Galilee, Jordan River, Dead Sea down here. Because what's happening is the children of Israel, let's see if we can make a 2 here. I'm going to go, whoop, make that dark, okay? And then put an arrow right here. Because what has happened here, I was drawing that, you couldn't see it. What has happened is the children of Israel could come up around here, and they've come right to there, okay? And they're about to cross over into here. That's what the helmet's about. They're going to have to do a lot of military stuff over here on this side, because this is the promised land. They're going to conquer the promised land, right? But they get to right about here, and there are 2 tribes that say, hey, we kind of like it right here. Why can't we stay here? We don't want to go across the Jordan. But anyhow, Moses has to deal with that. So, chapter 32, not 20, 32, you see the 3? 32 is all about Reuben and Gad. That's the name of the 2 tribes. Reuben and Gad, they settle on the east side of the Jordan. They don't want to go on in here. Now, we're going to find out that their warring men do go in there, but anyhow, that's another story that we'll see later. All right, I'll put that right over there so you can admire. That's not actually too bad. We did pretty good. How does yours look like? Mine looks like the guy got hit in the head while he was there, just got kind of, but anyhow, there you go. 32, Reuben and Gad settle on the east side of Jordan. Moving on. So if I were to ask you a question about segment number 1, the doodle part, it would be this. What is the theme of Numbers 32? Reuben and Gad settle on the east side of Jordan. And can you doodle the picture? Yes, you can. We can even give him a flat helmet where he got hit in the head with a boulder or something. By the way, didn't you find it interesting last time that they went up to war against Midian and they didn't lose anybody? Nobody. That's not going to be the case when they go into the promised land. The first military campaign that they do does pretty good, but the second one it doesn't do well because they weren't faithful to God. But we'll talk about that when we get to the book of Joshua. You going to be with me then too? Oh, good. Anyhow, I don't know what I got right there, but it's right there. Here we go, guys. Did you get that? 32. All right. Let's be silly. Here's Big-Eyed Bill. Big-Eyed Bob? I think this one's Bob, isn't it? I think so. What did the duck say after he bought chapstick? You know that stuff that you put on in the winter so because your lips get all dry and all that kind of... What in the world's a duck doing with chapstick? That's kind of funny just thinking about it. Anyhow, what did he say when he bought chapstick? The duck said when he bought chapstick, I just put it on my bill. I get it. His bill is his lips. Because it's not laid on. Ducks don't have lips. They got bills. I know you're laughing like I am. It's just, oh my. Next one. Segment number 2, gonna exercise the brain. Gonna say to old brain, hey, have you been exercising lately? Make a memory is what we're gonna do. This is where you get your memory verse. All right. Memory verse again. I know it looks a little bit long, but you can do this because you're like crazy smart. Numbers chapter 32 and verse 29, it says this, and Moses said to them, if the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, every man who is armed to battle before the Lord will pass with you over the Jordan, and the land shall be subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession, which is where they wanted to stay over here. Instead of going in here to the promised land, they wanted to stay over here. They got livestock, and they think this is better land for that. So they want to say, and so Moses says to him, he said, okay, you can do that, but first of all, your warring men have got to go with everybody else over there to conquer the promised land. All right, so if you're going to memorize this particular voice, I would go like this. Say each line 5 times. And Moses said to them, 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 and Moses said to them. Then add in the next line. If the people of Gad. If the people of Gad, 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 if the people. Now, add them together. And Moses said to them, if the people of Gad. And the Lord said to them, if the people of Gad. And the Lord said to them, if the people of Gad. And the Lord said to them, if the people of Gad. See how we did that? We've already got the first 2 lines, so you're like crazy. And the next one we're going to add in Reuben, which is the other tribe. So look at, whoop, whoop. So proud of you. Now, if that doesn't work, you can always just kind of write it out, the verse, but leave blanks. So that every time you put it on your desk or on the bathroom mirror or whatever, and every time you pass by it, you got to fill in the blanks, and that'll help you. And Moses. I thought it said and the Lord. And Moses said to them, if the people of Gad, I think I got that right because I'm like right, I think. All right, so that's how you do that. So, what are the 2 tribes? Come on, get up there. There it is. What 2 tribes wanted to settle east of the Jordan? Reuben and Gad. Or Gad and Reuben, whichever way you want to say it. Those are the 2 tribes. They didn't want to go on into the promised land. They just wanted to stay right over there close by. Can you quote the memory verse? Not even a chance. I was even struggling with the first 2 lines. Oh my. All right, here we go. I don't know, Lollipop Lily? I don't remember what this person's name is. Why are peppers great at archery? Seriously? A pepper. Had a pepper in my salad the other day. I did not eat it, for I am a sissy. I do not eat peppers. I can't do it. Anyhow, got this pepper, and he's evidently pretty good at archery, Anyhow, why are peppers great at archery? I'll tell you why. Because they have an arrow. Think about it for a moment. I told it to my wife, and she had to think about it because it's not have an arrow. Habanero. Habanero is a type of pepper. I think it's really hot. And so I'm really not eating that one. So why are they so great? Because they have a habanero. That's a play on words. I thought it's one of those time jokes. You hear it, then later you laugh at it when you get it. All right. Segment number 3, gonna ponder a passage. Here we go, as we ponderate. Come on, get it up there. It didn't do it. There it is. All right, a little Moses comes dancing on there. Notice he's got the little clue in his brain. Anyhow, Moses, this is Numbers 32. So the people of Gad and the people of Reuben came to and said to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and the chiefs of the congregation, here's what they said. The land that the Lord struck down before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock. So remember, they did all those battles, Midian and all that kind of thing. They did that and didn't lose a man, all that kind, well, all that, those battles and everything that took place right here. They've kind of conquered that area. They've claimed it. And so the tribes of Gad and Reuben say, hey, we're just going to stay here. Is that okay with you? Because we got lots of livestock, and this is a land that's good for livestock. Your servants have livestock. Verse 5. And they said, if we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Do not take us across the Jordan. We don't want to go across the Jordan. We just want to stay here. Now, you would think that's a reasonable request, but Moses isn't happy. Excuse me. And you notice he skipped from verse 5 all the way to verse 28, so I'm trying to get in the whole chapter here, but he's not happy because Moses says, well, that's not fair. All of Israel helped you conquer this land, and now you're just going to stay behind, and your brothers are going to have to go across the Jordan and conquer that land all by themselves? No. And so what happens is these two tribes say, no, we'll send our warring men with you, and they won't come home until the job is done. But if you'll allow us, we'll stay here. We'll build us some cities and pens to put our flocks in and all that kind of. We'll stay here, or our children and our wives, etc. They'll stay here, but we will. The fighting men will go with you. And so, verse 28, Moses commanded concerning them to Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the father's households, the tribes of the people of Israel. So he tells three people, or three groups of people, I guess you say. Eleazar the priest, Joshua, because he's the guy who's going to be in charge when they go in there, and he tells the chiefs of each of the houses of Israel. All right, here's what we're going to do about this request. And Moses said to them, if the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, every man who is armed for battle, to battle before the Lord, will pass over the Jordan. So if they will go over the Jordan with you into the land and help you subdue it before you, and you shall give them, then you shall give them the land of Gilead. So they have to go with you and help you conquer the promised land. Then they're allowed to keep that land of Gilead. Okay? But if they will not pass, verse 30, if they will not pass over you with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land. So if they won't do that, if they're not going to agree to that, then they have to go with you on into there, and they'll have to take their possession out of that side, which is originally promised land anyhow. Kind of makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? I don't know if you've done this with God before, but God basically is directing you in one direction, and you say, well, God, I kind of like this direction. And God might say, yeah, I guess it's okay, but you know what? It's never quite as good. Never quite as good. And their land over here, never going to be quite as good as what they could have had if they had gone on into the promised land. I'm confident of that. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything there. So here are your 5 questions that deal with that particular passage. Why did 2 tribes want to remain on the eastern side of the Jordan? Because they had livestock, and they thought that was good land. Besides Eleazar and the heads of the houses, who else did Moses command that they could have Gilead? Joshua. What were the 2 tribes required to do? They had to go over and fight with their brothers. Not with their brothers, beside their brothers. Conquer the promised land. What land would these 2 tribes possess then, if they did that? Gilead. And what would the 2 tribes receive if they did not follow Moses' command? They wouldn't receive anything on that side. They'd have to receive something inside the promised land. There you go, guys. All right. Well, this one's a good one. What is fast, loud, and crunchy? Fast, loud, and crunchy. A rocket chip. It's a chip, but it's a rocket. So it's fast, and it's loud. But it's also crunchy because it's a chip, not a ship. Oh, I did it again. Isn't that cute? I think I got to fix that in my thing because I don't know why it's keeping it doing it, but I got to fix that. Anyhow, I'm done fixing. Let's move on. All right, segment number 4. In the fourth segment, we're going to apply the why, doing, doing. And we are going to say to ourselves, why do we even study Numbers chapter 32? What is it in that passage that I relate to? Well, I'm fixing to tell you. All right, let's see, get old Moses in here. Come on, Moses, get over here. There he is, boing, boing, boing. Okay, Moses says, here's your question. Did you ever have to help someone else complete a task before you receive your reward? Here's, come down. You see everything I got underlined there? All that stuff that's underlined? It says, if the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, every man armed, will go over and help fight, take, their brothers are going to have to go over there and fight to claim this promised land. Are you going to go with them? If they'll do that, then they can have their possession on this side. Did you ever have to help somebody complete something? Like, I don't know, maybe help your little brother complete getting his bedroom cleaned before you both were allowed to go out to play. I don't know, something like that. Write me a paragraph, would you? That's what this segment is about, segment number 4, relating to things that happen in the Bible, which was they had to go help their brothers conquer the promised land before they could get their stuff. Well, here you go. Did you ever have to help somebody else complete a task before you could receive your reward? Write me a short paragraph on that. Really, you're writing it for your parents because I will never see it unless you want to mail it to me. If you want to mail it to me, I'm happy. Just go ahead and send that. You know what I'm saying? In fact, if you go to sunnychild.com, it'll help you understand how you could just email it to me or something. Oh, get a little picture up there. All right, guys, one last joke for the day. Here we go with the guy with the big tooth. I forgot what we call him. What did the librarian say when a book fell on her head? I know what I'd say. Ouch! You know what I'm saying? Some of those books, they go way up there, and boom, I don't think that would be pleasant. All right, what did the librarian say when a book fell on her head? She said, I only have my shelf to blame. It's my shelf. I should have taken care of it, but it fell off the shelf because it's my shelf, and so I only have my shelf to blame. Oh, Tiffany said, shh. Yeah, she probably did. That's my cousin in Texas. Yeah, Tiffany, she probably did say, shh. Book, don't do that again. Probably said it right after she screamed, and everybody in the library, duh. And there you go, guys. Librarian, what'd she say when a book hit her right in the head? She said, well, I only have my shelf to blame. She should have built those shelves better. Oh, dear, moving on. Here we go. Segment number 5. This is the 5th segment, and it's time to test. And Frank says, oh dear, I don't know why we can't. All semester we've been trying to get him to pay attention, but he won't. But anyhow, here you go, guys. This is test number 28. We're moving right along, aren't we? And there's your 10 questions that'll be on your final test. We've already covered all of them in our little lesson, so I think you're good to go. But if you don't know what they are, all you got to do is look them up in the Bible. Man, I love it when you're with me on Sunday mornings for Lord's Day Live Doodle Bible School. You know what comes next? Sermon segment. I wish you'd stick around. We're going to talk about the same chapter, but we're going to make some applications to the chapter. I love you. Sonny Chow saying be there. Matthew 16:26.